So this is an effort to help you with problems. I will work through them, but just in the interest of time, I'm not going to spend years on them. So it'll be quick. It's delta x, and again, I would label these -1 minus -3, and delta y, -2 minus 2. Notice I didn't ask for slope. Notice I didn't ask for you to make them a fraction and reduce them. So off we go. So here, delta x, 0 minus 0. I would still label these, but again, I'm going to move a little faster. And now we step it up a notch, the LB line, plot it, find the slope, and graph it. I actually recommend using a straight edge for that process because why not? Over here we get m equals, and again, I would label the points. And I always check my work when I'm doing slope down to the right, kind of shallow, -1/3. Looks like it's about right. So notice we have a 0 over -3 here. If we have nothing on top, that's 0. If we have nothing on the bottom, it's undefined. So this is just practice to make sure you remember how to do your vertical and horizontal lines. Notice how I don't put tick marks in here unless I have to. Always about saving time. And not rushing, just saving time. Still trying to keep things somewhat neat. I'd like to say I make mistakes on purpose. I don't. But when you make a mistake, cross it out, keep moving. Notice how fast it is. I don't spend a half an hour racing. I can't because I have a pen anyway, but it wastes time. And I am an AP grader, and trust me, when somebody crosses out, we just move on. Point slope equation, which is all we're going to do. So again, just rolling through the problems. Personally, I would just check the answer key, but if you get to a problem that you really need help on, that's what we're here for. This is kind of dumb, but what are you going to do? We will never do these problems. We're looking for ax plus by equals c. I've seen this done in a lot of simple ways. For me personally, I always do a quick graph just to see what's going on. So this is a point. This is a point. That's a vertical line. So that's done. X equals -2. There's no general linear equation that I can write for that. So over here, it's a little trickier. -5, 1, 2, -4. So we're going to have a negative slope down with a y-intercept around 0, maybe +1-ish. Slope. Pick one for point slope. I'll pick the first one. Now I can move this over and do this, that, but right now I'm going to multiply everything by 7. And I do mean everything. I could shortcut this and just give you an answer, but I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, so let's see if that's true. 5x is 25. 5x plus 7y equals what happens when we rush. Add 7 to that, we get -18. Never going to do that. Never, ever, ever, ever going to have to do that. But just want to make sure you know the algebra. By the way, I can grab this a lot easier. This is why they have this, in case you're wondering, well, why even bother? Because if I plug in a 0 for x, y equals 3. Plug in a 0 for y, x equals 4. Something like that. Now I don't have to do any math. Now you can just say, well, the slope is so on and so on. But yeah, we'll do it right. 4y, -3x, plus 12, -3/4 x, plus 3. Slope, y-intercept. X is 0, y is 4. I think we're going to get the same line here. Almost. When y is 0, x is 3. So I'm going to multiply everything by 12. I just don't like fractions. 4x plus 3y equals 12. By the way, if you're a slob, learn how not to be. As an AP grader, I can say right now, it really, really, really is challenging to grade something I can't read. A lot of arguments with other graders about, does this really look like that? And they're like, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. But that's not what we're doing here. We're here to stick it to them. So write an equation for the line through P. Parallel, first thing we got to do is go y equals -2x plus 4, so that we know the slope is -2. So for parallel, y minus 2 equals -2x plus 2. Notice I shortcutted it. Y equals -2 x plus 2 plus 2. No, I am not putting it into slope-intercept form. I think that's a waste of time. More to the point, you will do things where you are simplifying and make a mistake and lose credit on the exam. Y minus 2 equals 1/2 x plus 2. Y equals 1/2 x plus 2 plus 2. Didn't graph the other one, probably should have. Y equals 3. Right there. Sorry, I had to break my recording there. Hopefully it's not too bad. Anyway, parallel line to this point. Is just y equals 1/2 right there. And then perpendicular x equals -1. All right, use the table of values below to determine m and b for fx, yada, yada, yada. All right, so a lot of work to do here. I'm going to do the delta fx and the delta x, so I'm going to use these two, and I'm shortcutting the process. M equals +7, +2. I'm going to throw the first one into point slope. Then I'll just solve it because they want m and b. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother. Since this is an f of x, we should do that. We can do all the work any way we want. There's nothing wrong with that. That's 4/4. It's -3/2. By the way, I wouldn't do this on a AP exam. I'd make sure I'm clear about what I'm doing. -1, -4 is -3 for +2. I'm gonna do all this in my head. -3/2 times -2 is +3 -1 +2. Like I said, I wouldn't actually do this up here. I probably shouldn't have. I was just being lazy, which is good sometimes, but not good other times. All right, here we go. I would again label these y -3, 4 minus -2. Cross multiplier, just multiply by 6. And I think I'll just multiply by 6. So times 6 on both sides. So 6 over 3 is 2, so we get -4 equals y -3. Y equals -1. And by the way, guess and check isn't a bad idea. Just chuck it in there and see if it makes sense based on, hey, this is 6, 2 times 3 is that, 2 times -2 is -4. -1 minus 3 is -4. Yeah, okay, that works too. Cross multiplier, just switch these two however you feel like it. X plus 8 equals 2. X equals -6. And then I would always check it. Always check it. So explain why C and D are the x-intercept. Why don't we just do this? When x equals 0, y over d equals 1, and y equals d. So the y-intercept is 0, comma d. When y equals 0, x over c equals 1, x equals c. The x-intercept is c, comma 0. By the way, that's proof on an AP exam. That's why that question's there. Right. So now, based on the work I just did, we would say the y-intercept, we'd have to divide by or multiply by 2 to get it out of there. 2d, and the x-intercept, 2c, comma 0. And now practice with the calculator, which I'm not going to show. Okay. And you could graph it, put your points in, try and find a best fit line. But no, I would just do calculator. Label your sides. This would be year, of course. This would be compensation, so on and so on, but just by calculator. Now, I made a massive point on the video saying 3 decimal places. Here I am not, because I just decided to go to the nearest dollar, because this little sig figs thing here. But on a AP test, we won't do it that way. I apologize for all of the inconsistencies, but it happens. You'll get used to it. So the slope is, and this is a very common question. It's the increase in wages per year. They ask you all the time, what does the slope mean? They do this all the time. And if I slap in 2008, I should get once again, should go to 3 decimal places, but here I just left it as to the nearest dollar because that's what they gave us. So, okay, hopefully you got that with the calculator. So let's do south by calculator. They ask us to do both. Again, since we're just going with those, I decided not to go any more accurate than this. A lot of people don't use the commas. I highly recommend them to keep life straight. Hey, what does that mean? That means that house. And by the way, notice how the y-intercept is usually kind of pointless. Units, always with the units. Using the calc for the west. And we would say the increase is faster in the west. That's it. Happy mathing.